first ones around 76.
Yeah.
So nobody had been there real long. But so when I got hired, the Recruit School 11 was in process. So they plugged me into them, and I was there about a month. Got some SCBA training, did a couple live burns. That was before standard engine ops. So I went to Station 2 on A shift, and I was told I would have to go back to the next recruit school. So, and again, that was in March of 81. And then I went back to the next recruit school that started about May of 82. So it was about 14 months or so, if I did my math right here, that I went back in the fire station. Mm. And I was off probation.
You were the senior man in the recruit school.
Yeah. And ended up Mike Brigatti was the same way. He got offered a temporary position as well. So
in the same early school?
Or in the same early school. And then he was in the second school in Recruit School 12 with me. But when I went to recruit school, I was off probation. I was cut loose driving the engine, and I was cut loose tilling truck 2, the open cab Peter Persh. And back then, whoever finished top in recruit school got to pick where they wanted to go. They'd tell you these are the openings. You couldn't bump somebody, but these are the openings. You get to pick where you go. Well, I knew that there was going to be an opening on B shift at truck 2, working for Danny Jenkins. So I didn't say anything to anybody about it, but that was my motivation. And I luckily somehow ended up topping my recruit school and got to pick to go work for Danny Jenkins on truck 2. Because when that school came out, when I was first in the station, there was one lieutenant at the dual houses, and the lieutenant or the captain always rode the truck. So there was always an acting firefighter on the engine. When my graduating recruit school came out, they made promotions and put 2 officers at the dual houses for the first time.
Were they still sergeants?
They were sergeants, because when I got promoted, I was a sergeant. Mm-hmm. And then there was a lieutenant on the truck. That's how that worked. Mm-hmm. So and I just fortunately got put at 2, just randomly. That's where the opening was. That's where Neil had been. And that was a blessing in disguise to me as well, because that's where the dive team was at. So I was at that station with those guys, the old-time divers, the Shelley Porter, Craig McLean, Catfish, Ben Gary, some of the early divers. Yeah. So.
What was the dive team like back then? Just because I saw a Facebook post here a while back about the Air Florida crash. What was that, 1980? 82, yeah. And I know the dive team went up there, didn't get much work, but I think you put a commentary on a Facebook post about that.
Right. Back then it averaged between 8 to 10 people.
On the team?
On the team. And probably everybody was at 2 at that point. And anytime there was a dive call, the guys that were on shift would go, and somebody in the fire station would go call all the other guys, and we'd get called in.
From home.
And back then, we did it, And
this is long before Fair Labor Standards Act and overtime. And
yeah, we did get overtime for it, but the overtime was not. There wasn't a lot of overtime in the fire station because it was called constant manning.
Yeah,
you'd sign up for it. The only way you got overtime is if it was less than 12 hours notice. So a dive call, you would get overtime for.
There you go, time now.
But we weren't running as many calls, obviously, but a lot of people would, it was easy to get people to come back, because I was at home when the Air Florida crash happened, and they called and told us to come in. And today there's about 40 people on the dive team.
Yeah. There's probably one shift has that as many as you had back in the early 80s.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And there wasn't a lot of formal training. Again, I got sent. Chief Butcher sent me to some my first public safety dive class. I went to Colorado for, and then I went to Orlando for another one. And Swiftwater was coming about back then. That wasn't a part of Tech Rescue. were you involved with us with Steve Wood and John Crosby and Ernie?
Yep.
A bunch of us had went out to Ohio and got trained, and we wrote the VAVRS program and taught it at
Rescue College
for years.
Up on the New River,
yeah, and around the state. But I've got pictures. This was before I got there, because the city of Richmond back then didn't have a dive team. They had their swift water team. And we were running a fair amount of drownings there along the pony pasture in that area. But there's pictures of our divers standing on the top of, not Bossier's,
Williams Dam.
Yeah. With a bull line in there, and they were with pike poles
trying to fish out victims.
And they had 3/4-inch manila tied around their waist in case they fell in. We've come a long way.
Up touch. Now we got communication systems and dry suits,
ROVs, and